Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you would, please hit the like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We would really appreciate it. But here we do a little bit of everything. We mainly focus on amps and power supplies on this channel, although there is radios that are done here and there throughout the time frame. So, good evening, Bruce. I see you popped in there for a visit with me. So again, I'm not going to be out here for very long. I've actually been out here since about 6 small order and some of the other things that I'm working on. Get this camera readjusted here. Get you guys in here with a little bit, hopefully better view. So just like that. Good evening, Jeremy. I see you popped in there. Sitting here at work. Bruce, you are way too much like me, buddy. Too many hours. Of course, Jeremy, I know you're familiar with that too. Working on the line there. You definitely have had more than your fair share of time and know what that's all about too. So, anyways, let's get this big behemoth here up on the table for a minute. Now I've actually got 4 more of these set. I'm actually going to change these out since these are set at a little bit higher voltage. I'm actually going to drop 4 other modules on here when I'm done that I've pre at 14.5. So I got another shipment in. So got quite a few of them on hand. But I kind of wanted to see height-wise, because just because things look one way does not mean that they will look another. So that's the reason why I just wanted to kind of get an idea here, based on the height of the modules and all that good stuff. So I'm just trying to make my life a little easier when I go to do all this. So I've got a 6-inch scale here. All right. Because I don't want to put them way up high, but I want to put them way down low. Mainly because of the fact that we've got a shunt that's going to be on here as well. And let's see, let me check the orientation here. Will be positive. Yeah, the positive rail is going to be down. So the positive is going to be laying across the bottom, and then the negative is going to be up towards the section of these. So, all right. So I think what I'm going to do is do an offset. Set those up over here as far as the first one, which I will probably make this one the negative and then put the positive over that way. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to primarily stay over here. That way I can just have a nice little droop to the cables and stuff. So, all right. So looking at the hole here. So I think what I'm going to do is use that center hole here. I think we're going to use that for the baseline to bring that up. And I think I'm going to go, the full 6 inches. All right. So set that plate here back out of the way. Now let me get some tape here. Looks like we got another Jeremy in there. Good evening, Jeremy Shiver. I hope I said that right. Radio for Jackson County. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the other things too that I've been trying to get on. Speaking of which, but yeah, I've got the room painted. I've got a little bit more that's got to go on before I get that channel actually up and going, because that'll have a whole different attribute versus what we're doing in here. So I am hoping to get that done here, hopefully before July. At least that's the goal. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I recognize who that one is. Yep. Speaking of Acme, I know that some of you live here in Indiana. Of course, some of you do live out of state, which they do offer shipping. So if you guys are looking for some firearms, if you would, go ahead and shoot the number for the shop up there, as I usually go up there, or try to anyways, quite often. It's been kind of slow on the gun buying here lately, mainly because of the wife. You know, the trip to kind of expensive, and then I'm going to try to plan another trip here coming up, hopefully this fall. So, but yeah, that's another one there too. But if you guys are wanting some really good prices and extremely competitive prices, you know, check out our friends over at Acme in Seymour, Indiana. Like I said, they've got I know they've got a Facebook channel. They've also, they've got Facebook. They've also got I think a web page, and pretty much any time. Just make sure it's during the daylight hours. They do sleep, unlike me. So if you're looking for something, if they do not have it, he can find it. You're digging that sticker. Which sticker is that? So you're going to build you a couple of power supplies, huh? Yeah, it's actually not too bad. The going in off the op amp, just getting into there. I am going to try to do a quick video on that eventually, because I've actually found kind of an easier way to do it than some of the other videos, and that's one of the things that I'd like to share with you guys too. I just want to try to get all the layout done and get all the holes and stuff so that I can get this taken care of. But let's see. Yeah, I'm still working at the last place, so you know, I'm still plugging away. It's crazy up there, but I'm still plugging away. All right, so let's go here. Separation here. So even if you measure it out, sometimes you still So that's 2. Yeah, let's go 2 1/4. Yeah, I don't like them to be crazy stupid away apart, but at the same time, I like to have an ample resource in between the two as well. All right, so those are going to be 1 inch. Pretty doggone sure. Yep, that's what I want. And I think that's 3/8. Yeah, 3/8. Let's do this first. Let's spot drill that. Yeah, that aluminum always gums up the end of the speed bit, variable bit, Linux bit, step bit. Heard those things called 500 different names. Yeah, I spoke with my wife this morning. I was actually kind of shocked because she normally never calls me in the morning. She sleeps right up until the last possible moment. Yeah, reminder for Alexa, wake up. So, yeah, I'll get with you here, Jeremy. I do have different ones to take care of. I mean, I've got this build here. I've got this going on. I've got a another lengthy project coming up, and an amplifier. So you're probably looking a couple of months out. As you guys have seen, I don't get a whole lot of time here in the shop. The wife's already griping because here I am. I work before work and then after. So. But yeah, eventually, guys, I am going to have another YouTube channel, not just this one. And yeah, it's just so many projects and so little time. Yep. So many projects, so little time. Let's change this out from yesterday's socket. Handheld automation at its finest. Can't beat how fast you pull in one with one of these crazy things. And like that, we got 2 holes cut. Alrighty. Good evening, Popcorn. Sorry, I didn't see you pop in there quite literally. Let's see, is it okay to text you later? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can send me a message anytime. I'm available, I'm available through text pretty much 24/7. There's a few hours of sleeping that does go on, but overall, you can reach me definitely by text message at any time. Let's see. Yeah, it is. A 2x4x16 all in one box. Oh, geez. Yeah, it is possible. I don't know. I don't know what we would get into with doing something like that. But yeah, I mean, it is theoretically possible to do that, Bruce. That's one I would probably have to ask Luke as far as what some of the pitfalls would be. I've built I've built a couple different amps as far as the 2x4, 2x6, 2x8. The 2x6 I don't really care for. I'd rather just do a 1x6 on that. Especially the HGs, a 1x4 actually works really good. And it seems to be, they seem to be more stable doing a 1x4 versus the 2x. I don't know what it is, but it has to do with the way the voltage creeps up on them or the power. So, since the HGs have came out, I have built 2 amps that is a 2x4. There's only 2 in existence by me. The rest of them have all been 1x. And I get the same, when you jump it up to a 2879, you get basically the same numbers. So, all right, big guy, take care. We'll catch you on the next go around. I'll try to get in to see you eventually. Yeah, I would love to set up a shooting date where we could go to the range or go someplace. That would be awesome, because I sure don't take enough time off. That's for sure. Yes, exactly, Gary. Exactly. That is the main thing right there. Yeah. Yep, that'll work. get some screws here and we'll find out what size we need to drill those. Speaking of which, I was going to order some more screws the other day, and I honestly forgot. Four. All right, where are we at here? Yeah, like I said, I know Luke's ran into, just about every problem that there is with stuff like that. So that would definitely be something, like I said, I'd want to talk to him about, because I've never done one that big in a staging format. I'd say another one that would probably be able to answer that would be Chad Jolly, which he probably is sitting there working away and doesn't even know we're even on the channel yet. I know he's been popping in here lately and visiting with us. I know he builds a lot bigger amps than what I do normally. Come on, get in there. My ashtray back over here. Okay. I think we're going to do that. Like put the negative over onto the side. Tell you, there's two of these type of connectors that I really like. I like these studs, the studs like this. And then there's another one that is a brass. And, they are expensive, but man, are they nice. Especially if you're trying to pull a gajillion watts like some people do on these amps, Bruce. Oh. So I know everybody else is winding down and I'm just winding up. It has to do with that good old third shift. Oops. Figured my buddy 3 might have even popped in there by now. Yeah, 700, 800. Yeah, well, that's something that could be taken care of. I don't know if you'd rather have it in a mobile format or a base. That's another thing too that I'd like to get on, is I've got a bass amplifier that needs to get finished as well. Alrighty. Red, black, red, black. Which one's positive? You'd be surprised. Really would. Anyhow, now we're done with the back plate. Set that off to the side, because now we get to do the real fun one. Just set that in the chair, get it out of the way. Yeah, I actually did the layout for the fan last night before I went to bed. Oh yeah, the face. Speaking of face, now there's a protective coating over it, but I'm letting it dry here, and then I'll probably have to work it one more time. I think it just has to do with the temperature. Yeah, the face is actually going to be black. Like I said, there's actually a thing over top of this, so that's the reason why it looks smeary. But it'll be a nice pristine black when we're done. But I had to use a little bit of soap and water on this because of the way it wanted to lay down. So, I'll work it down. If not, I'll put another coating on it. I've got another black we'll put on there if I can't get it to lay down like I want it. But I'll get that down there, and then I'll cut this out for the meter, which I've already got taken care of today. Went ahead and cut that out. And obviously we've got our hole for the breaker on the front. So once we get that all squared away, as far as on the covering, we can pop the other pieces in there. So it's really not going to take that long. It takes me a long time just because of the hours that I work. For some reason, I require sleep from time to time. So this is something you guys see me use in a while. And I get to pick up drill bits because I didn't think to put the top back on it. All right, so which arbor do I need? Okay. Bum, bum, bum. I remember right, that's that oddball size that I do not have on the wall. Yeah, I thought that was too big. Yeah, I've got a few odds and ends down here, but pretty sure. Yeah, it's 3/4. That's going to be just a little too small. That one's too big. There's my spare 5/8. Yeah, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8. It's the only bad thing about some of this stuff that's metric. All right, so I'll pop that out to a 3/4, and then I've got a Veribit that we can take the last little nudge out of it. Let's see, where's it at? Yeah, it stops out. All right, bit that I need, I do not have here. I took it to work. All right, so we'll snap it out to the 3/4, and then I'll wait till tomorrow to do this. Best laid plans of mice and men. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that either. Yeah. It's already oversized for that. All right. Well, let's set this back over here for tonight. I was hoping to go ahead and pop that hole out, but I don't have the right bit here because, like I said, I took it to work. I needed it the other day. All right. That's okay because we still got plenty to do. We have wires to cut and all kinds of other good stuff. All right. Yeah, let's bring her back over here. I'll put just a couple of screws in that bottom plate too. That way it'll kind of hold itself in place, and we'll take some measurements. Let's see. Yeah, I thought about it, Bruce. I really did, but it is the fact that unless you are buying about a dozen parts at a time for something like that, the price for me to build going into the tube world, sadly, I would rather see you buy a crusher built because of the cost, because he can sell you one cheaper than I can buy all the parts, just because I don't have the good sources. C3X 10,000. Well, yeah, if you're going to dream, dream big. Understand that. Yeah, my neighbors would shoot me if I had something like that sitting here. I do not live that far out in the country. Actually, I think, yeah, I better put 2 in there. Okay. All right, so the black's at the top, red's on the bottom. And we're going to lay it down now. Yeah, so 15, that gives me more than enough to work with. So let's get some 15-inch pieces. All right. I'll just leave it on the spool and spool back up whenever I get it. Yeah. I went ahead and made it about 14 inches instead of 15 because, we've got, we've got our stud. Isn't that awful? Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at the stud. We've got our ring terminal that's going to be on there as well. So I said we'll have more than enough. And let me grab the shunt. That way I get more of a shunt on there. Let's see. All right, Bruce, have a good one, buddy. I see you're getting ready to go home. Good for you. I wish I was staying home. Anything over 7 inches, Sean. Yeah, anything over 7 inches. Yeah. Yeah, they don't call you too short for nothing, right? Right, Gary? How close that is to the red. Yeah, a little shorter. Not by much. So on this one, I'm actually going to gain more so than lose. Exactly. Yeah, give me a second here. I want to reel up the extra because the other wire's on the other spool cart. I've got wire that's above my head as far as like the small Teflon and everything else, but there's something about having 4 and 8 gauge wire hanging over top of your head that it makes me a little leery. So, alrighty. Let's take those 2 screws out of that. We're going to make up our cables. Put a little hair around it and you'll hit it. Simply amazes me though, as far as how much current can be pulled through such a small wire. But whenever you're only, when you're running it basically no more than a foot, you can get by with a lot of different things. So we're going to need to go up in size. I hadn't refilled my little tray that I normally keep some in. It's not very big, but it's big enough that I can put about 8 or 10 at a time in. It's just easy because I've got it labeled. Yeah, that's the size there. 3/8. Yeah, that's what we need. And that was my wife sending me a message. Let's see. Well, it all counts, but you have to remember. Just a second here. Blank message she sent me.
亲爱的，记得吃早餐。
I'll remember to have breakfast. Okay. Your main thing, anytime you're doing this, you're going to see that the hot and grounds are different lengths. But you have to remember, you're drawing current based on, it's not, the shorter you can make these, the better off you are in almost all applications. But when you are looking at the overall length, you want all of your positives to be the same length and all of your negatives to be the same length that is required. And that's how you can still keep a, sum total the same. It's just like, for example, in the automotive world, you've got 6-8 feet of battery cable that goes down to the starter. But where is your ground? You don't use a ground wire. You use the entire chassis. So you're looking at the ground for the starter. You're only looking at it's probably less than a half an inch away, as far as in order to go ahead and create the overall inductance that initiates the motor windings. So you've got two separate lengths there as well. Just for an example, and it's the same principle here. You can have shorter cables on one side than the other, because it is the sum total between the two that makes up where the current is being drawn. So as long as all your positives are the same thing with the negative, because once you get outside those two binding posts, for example, some people, oh well, I only needed 4 feet of wire. Well, yeah, but one's this much longer and the other one's this much shorter, and you got one that's, so you wind up with, you're still going to wind up with wire. So as far as at your main binding posts, yes, you do have the length of the shunt that is also included into that, because you still have to have a current. The current still flows across this as well. But no, this does not have to be calculated in. And it's also a conservative of wire, as far as if you're able to cut it just a little bit shorter. And there again, I'm able to cut it a little shorter because of my depth from point A to point B. So, I'm still gaining. And technically, if you add this in there, this is still going to be longer. If we straighten this out, straighten one of these out. See, technically, let's lay it on the other side so you can see it better. So technically my ground is longer, but this is also a different type of material than the copper. Oh, and I've learned over the last few weeks, being married to my wife, because of the things that we do here in America, that just boggles her mind. For example, I was sitting out here, drinking a hot cup of ginger tea, which it's not very hot now, but she was worried about dust falling into it. Um, I continuously scratch my head. Well, why? How come you don't have a lid on your cup? Why do I need a lid on my cup? Because of dust, particles may make you sick. I'm not saying she doesn't have a point, but wow. Of course, I've been single now for the last 10 or 12 years since before I met her. So, it's kind of strange having a woman fuss over you. Half a world away, and she still makes a fuss. Might as well get the behemoth. Yeah, I thought years ago when this old man gave me this roll of bell wire, I thought to myself I would never have a use for this. Man, have I been wrong. I have used and used and used. I've even given to people. Um, like I said, you don't realize just how much you can use this for multiple different things. For example, the little jumper, I use that. It's a solid copper, easy to work with. It was free 99. And then for this particular circumstance, use this to help bind these together. Wunderbar. Just make it easier as far as when we go to put everything together, because I still need to drill a hole in the ends of these. It's easier to do that before I actually put them on. I've done it both ways, but yeah, it's just easier. Sometimes that stuff sticks to your hands. Yeah, speaking of customs, customs and habits, she gets onto me for this every day. And I've never really given a second thought, to be honest with you, because the only time we ever got in trouble as a kid for not taking our shoes off, is when we came in with mud. I mean, we knew better. At that point, you knew that you had to take your shoes off and leave them by the door. And, she still thinks I should take my shoes off and leave them outside. And it's like, well, apparently you're not familiar with neighborhood dogs, chew toys, rain, things like that. Yeah, spiders and scorpions, which, whenever I lived out west, that was actually a very, very realistic thing that people never really gave a second thought to. Is again, like you said, spiders and scorpions. That is definitely one of those that's, not up my alley that I want to play with. Actually, get by with just doing that. Yeah. No, don't want any snakes in the boot either. There we go. That's another thing too. Believe it or not, if you just take a few minutes and take a small chamfer bit and chamfer your hole before you solder it, it makes it so much easier in the long run. when you need to put the solder in there. Makes it easier to hit the hole, quite literally. All right. A small crimping tool. Yeah, it was the wrong size. You know, where this has got a numbering scale on it. I think one of these days what I'm actually going to do is break down and get my my engraver out and actually engrave which one's best suited for which size. Yeah, that's what we want. Once you get the crimping tool out of there, man, it's butter moving that thing around. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Well, sadly, that is all the time I've got for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off with you. I have got a phone call to make on my way in. So I will catch you all tomorrow, hopefully. I'll have to see how I feel and whether or not I sleep again tonight. So, guys, I appreciate it for popping in. So, yep. Long you're going to do your lugs, old hammer type. Yeah, you can do that. And they do still work. If you go, especially if you're going to go back and I know you won't have any problems, but you can buy a small version like this if you're not using anything massively huge. There's a small version like this that you can buy on eBay for around $45, and it's a huge, um, huge savings of time. Even around the house, you'll find that you'll actually be able to make it pay for yourself versus the great big ginormous one like this. But they do have a smaller one that'll let you do, 10, 8, let's see, 8, 10, 4, 6, and I think you can get up to the 1/0 with it. But all right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you just tuned in for the first time, please hit subscribe, and we will see you on the next live feed. Have a good one, guys.